Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be expanding the Lego city. So let's get started. All right, so as the city is right now, the city is 8 feet from this corner all the way to the back, and it is about 9 feet from this corner all the way over to that edge there. But what I want to do today is expand it an additional 40 inches out by 80 inches this way. So it's actually not going to come to this point right here like I initially thought. It's going to come out to about here now. So I'm going to have 10 more inches of width, I guess, on the expansion table here, and I already have the pieces laid out. So what I did actually was when I originally built the city back in March, I bought 2 or 3 pieces of 4 feet by 8 feet long pieces of MDF board. MDF stands for medium density fiber board. So 2 of them went into the city here. And then the third one went to this, but I didn't build it at the time because I was like, you know what? Let me just focus on this. And then whenever I'm ready, I can start doing this. So now the time has come for this. And so there's a slight predicament. I don't remember how it got cut like this, but when you put these 2 pieces together and you measure it from that end all the way down to that end, it is 77 inches, which is pretty much right smack in the middle of base plate dimensions because base plates work in groups of 5. So 16 studs is 5. Let me get a better example for you. So as you guys can see here, a regular base plate, which is the police station right here, that's my example, is 32 studs. A half base plate is 16 studs, and then a 48 by 48 plate is 48 studs. So 32 studs is 10 inches, 16 studs is 5 inches, and then the 48 by 48s are 15. Those numbers don't work with 77, so 77 is right smack in the middle of increments of 5. So I have 2 options. I can either cut 2 inches off of this and make it 75 inches wide and 40 inches this way, or keep it the 40 inches that way, I mean, or I can take this board right here. So what I can do is I can cut 3 inches wide by 16 inches long. I can do that 3 times, put 2 of those pieces right in here, because like I said, it's 40 inches from that end all the way to this end here, which will leave me about a 7 or 8 inch gap, because I believe this is actually 16.5 inches wide. So 16.5 plus 16.5 will get me to 33. So I'm still 7 inches short. So what I'm going to do with that third 3 by 16 inch segment of wood is cut it to 7 by 3, so then I can put that on the end. And then I'm going to use the other scrap pieces from this piece of wood here, because after this it's not really going to be used for anything. So I'm going to cut it into a bunch of other different segments and then use the wood to conjoin the wood together. Could use metal brackets, but the wood I think holds it better. And also with the wood here, I have 6 table legs from IKEA. So let me go and grab some of the plates and then I can show you where they're going to go. All right, so this is the adapter that you screw into the wood, and then you just screw the table leg into the center here. And so what I want to do is I want to have 6 of these on the table. So it's going to be 1 in that corner. There's going to be 1 in that corner. There's going to be 1 in each of those corners right there. And then in the middle here, or I guess it's not really the middle, but it's close to the middle, where this joint is, where the 3 inches is going to be, and that big piece of wood is going to screw into this one, screw into the middle, and then screw into that one as well. I'm going to put a leg right here, and I'm going to put a leg on that. I'm going to do the same on that end as well. So there's going to be 6 legs on this piece of wood here. And since I bought the adjustable legs here from IKEA, that is the name of them, I can adjust the height. So these obviously are going to have to be a little bit shorter than the legs on the outside, just because of that extra piece of wood in there. So that's why I got the adjustable ones, so that this all works out. So without me talking too much, I don't know how long I've been talking at this point, but so let me go and start by cutting this, and then we can go ahead and put it all together. And then we can add the tablecloth onto this as well as adding the tablecloth to the table here. because I finally got that in the mail, and so I'm super excited to show you guys that. So again, without me talking too much, let's just get started. So this is the curtain that I bought here. This was from Amazon. I'll leave the link down in the description here. But the size of tablecloth that I got here was 70 inches by 120. And I'm actually going to be cutting it in half. So it's going to be two 35 by 120 inch segments. And then we're going to cut one of them even a little bit more than that. So let's just jump right into it, and I will show you guys how this is all going to work. All right, so that piece of wood that you just saw is now cut up into a bunch of different pieces here, and I will go over where each of these pieces are going to end up going. But this is what I use to cut the wood. It is a circular saw, and it's actually not mine, it's my dad's, so shout out to my dad for that. And so there is a number of small pieces here. This is where I guess you could ignore all of the markings on the wood here, but this is the three pieces that are going to go in between the wood. So let me add that really quick, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, so I've wedged them between the two bigger pieces of wood here, and there is a little bit of a gap. Obviously, I'm going to just shift it down, but now I've made it go a little bit too far, but that's fine. It's going to be a smidge short than the other two pieces anyways, which I'm totally fine with. I purposely made it a touch short instead of accidentally making it a touch longer than I wanted. So that is not the end of the world at all. This is actually, because the table is like this right now, and it's going to get rotated over. So this edge here is going to end up underneath, like right under here. So it's going to go like this, and then we're going to flip the table over like that. So I think this is going pretty good so far. And then these extra pieces of wood that got cut here from that original piece, these are going to actually be the scrap wood that we're going to use to essentially just go like this and screw everything together. So then that way I can screw this piece of wood, that one, and then this small one right here. That can all get screwed into one, and then we can take another piece of wood and we can put that in the middle. And we can take a third and we can put it on the end if we want. I'm probably going to end up doing that, actually, putting a piece of wood on the end and then a third one here, just to have, and then just for the sake of overkill, to be honest with you. So I think that's the way to go. I'd rather have it be over-engineered as opposed to not. So I think this is the way to go. So let me start screwing these in, and then once that's all connected, then I'll add adapters for the legs, and then we'll be good to go. All right, so some time has passed since that last clip, and so I pretty much just went ahead and I did the whole thing here. And so let me actually take a quick step back for you. I think that looks really good. I'm happy with that. The gap, or like the height difference between the two tables there, I think is also pretty good. And then, like I said, I did the two 16.5-inch segments right here, and then so that was the first one. This is the second one, and then the third one was cut in half right back there to make 40 inches. And so that is pretty much that. And then I took the extra pieces of wood from that small piece that I had shown a little earlier, and I went ahead and I used that as the pieces to join these pieces together. And I think it worked out pretty good. Obviously, this is really overkill, and using 6 legs with 3 in the front and then another 3 in the back, I think that's a little overkill, but I'm happy with it. I think it looks good. And so now we can go ahead and start putting the tablecloth on. So let's start doing that, and I will show you guys how that ends up looking. All right, so I went ahead and I'm starting to put the tablecloth on here. What I'm doing is I'm actually folding it over and stapling it into the piece of wood, and then I'm having it fold over. So once it's done, you can't actually see that there's no staples in it, which I think gives it a really, really clean look, and I think it looks a lot better. And so now that it's done, this is what it actually looks like here. I think this looks great. Let me just kind of pan around for you guys here. I think this looks really good, and this section is open right here because my plan for this area, I don't know if I was super specific about this, but this whole area is lower than the rest of the city, but I want to add a 10-inch section, 10 by maybe 80 or maybe only 70 of this. But so, because like I said, it's 80 inches long, so I want it to come out an extra 10 inches here, and then this 10 inches will be at that same height as the regular city. And then I can have the train siding here and also a little bit of an extra transition into the water and the area below. I think this looks really good. I did have it wrap around a little bit, and I did have this pretty much, this is all one long section here. Like I showed earlier, the piece of tablecloth that I bought was 70 inches by 120. And so I went ahead and I cut it in half so it was 35. It was two pieces of 35 by 120. So the 120 went along here, and then I cut the other one to fit this area here. And then like I was just talking about, I'm going to add a 10 inch section of cloth right here onto that piece that's going to stick out right here. So that's why this isn't covered yet, but that will happen in due time. And the lint roller is out because the couple of the wood shavings have gotten into this, and also I just want to make sure that it's all clean. It was steamed earlier, and so actually huge shout out to my mom for coming up with this idea to have it fold over and then put the staples underneath. I'll kind of show you guys an example of that right here. So this ended up being a whole family project here, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. And so yeah, let me use the lint roller a little bit more just to clean it up a little bit, and then we can add some base plates on it and see how it all looks. All right, so I put just a couple base plates on here. I don't have enough to do the whole thing quite yet, but I will be buying those in the next couple of days here. And so as you guys can see, the base plates come right to the edge here. And then if you come down this way over here, it lines up pretty perfectly. The 40 inches from edge to edge looks really good here. And I do still need to go back in and add a couple extra staples into like this right here, because this is drooping a little low for my liking, but I'm really happy with this. This looks good. And like I said, this will be raised up to that other height there. And so I'm extremely happy with this. I think this looks great. And I'm going to leave the video off here. And so that's pretty much it for me. I don't have much else to say. And so I don't want to take too much of your guys' time here. But I know this wasn't a whole lot of Lego building. Actually, there wasn't any Lego building. It was just wood building. So I hope this was insightful to you guys, and I hope that this was kind of beneficial to see, to kind of get an insight into how this table was made as well. It's not perfect by any means, but it gets the job done, and for the purposes of the city and this room as a whole, it's more than sufficient. And this is quite overkill, having 6 legs on it and, you know, having all that spare wood under each of those sections there. But this works great, and it will be a really nice foreground for the rest of the city here. And so I'm extremely happy with this. And so that's going to wrap it up for today's video. If you guys like this type of video and what I did with this expansion table, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notifications so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me, what you want to see on this table here, and also the process of building the table, make sure to drop a comment down below. My tentative plan is to have a whole bunch of water out front here, and then the Ferris wheel in the back there, and then obviously the train siding here. But other than that, this is pretty open for the taking here. And so if you guys have any suggestions that you want to see next to the Ferris wheel or in the water or instead of any of those things, make sure to drop a comment down below for me. I would love to hear what you guys think. But seriously, once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.